Afternoon, welcome to this live, everybody. Welcome here in the house. This live is called How to Rise from Fear, Innovate, and Grow Your Business from. Oh, we've just gone live. I thought we were already live. Hey, welcome to this live, everybody. As per usual, my name is Divya Mystery, and I've got notes because I've got so much that I want to say. I want to say clearly and concisely and make sure I'm helping you. And this live is all about how to rise from fear, innovate, and grow your business with the new opportunities that are ahead right now and ahead in 2020. This is particularly relevant right now. Look, things have changed, right? You can't hide it. Things have changed. We're inside. In the UK, we're inside. We've been inside for a week. We're going to be inside for at least another 2 weeks, possibly longer. Nobody really knows. It may not go back to normal until 6 months' time. I don't really know. But there is one thing, there's a couple of things that I do know. And by the way, if you're joining me live, give me a hello in the comments below. If you're on the replay, give me a replay in the comments below. Let me know you're here and let me know you're loving it. And let me know that this is of use and value to you. Because today I want to share with you something that I've really been sitting here pondering on today and thinking about and thinking, how can I help more people right now? And help them move from where they're at. Because here's the thing, fear in business is the thing that stops you from growing, stops you from moving forward, stops you from getting the things that you want to get. And right now, there's a lot of fear. In fact, there's a lot of fear of fear. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were feeling anxious. They would wake up in the middle of the night anxious, and then they'll be out of breath. And they said that's one of the things that, with the pandemic is that you might feel out of breath, and with the virus, sorry, and it's true. But that fear that came up is what caused the inability to breathe. And we can do that in our businesses as well, right? If we wake up in our businesses and we allow all this fear that's around in the world to come into our businesses, we will just be like, right, giving up, put it away, just forget it. We'll just curl up in a little ball. And at some point in time, make a world. And that's just not the way to get out of this, right? To continue to create fulfillment in your life and in your business and grow your business and all that hard work you put in to get it to the stage it's at now. And there's a lot of people who are just going to go, right, that's it, done. I don't want to deal with this. But I know that's not you if you're watching this. I know that's not you, and I know that's not what you want to do. But you might be feeling a little bit like, what do I do? How can I guide my way through this? What do I need to do to start growing again, start getting to this place where I feel more comfortable again? And here's the thing, and cover that in this live stream here today. And this is really important, right? Here's why this period of time is so important. And by the way, you heard this here first, right? If you got to attribute it to anybody. Some of the biggest businesses right now, the most successful businesses right now, were born out of the previous recession. Now, look, right now, it's not just the recession. We're not just seeing that the market might dip even more than it has. We're seeing that our way of life has changed. And so it is different to the last recession. 2008, 2009 was different because back then it was purely a financial crisis, and now there's a whole new level of what's going on in the world. And I don't say that to put fear into you. I say that because it's the facts, right? We've got to be real about the situation. But out of the last recession, there's some amazing companies that were built and were started in that period of 2008, 2009, 2010. There were some really successful companies built. Here's a list of a few companies that were made: WhatsApp, Instagram, Pinterest, Groupon, Uber, Slack. They all started in that recession period. And here's why. And today I want to kind of talk about why they were successful and what you can take from that and implement in your business, if that's okay with you. And look, if you're on here, please share it and let other people know about it. Please say hello if you're on it. Otherwise, it's just me sitting at the end of a camera talking to myself, which is incredibly odd. I mean, I'm a little bit odd anyway, and I'm happy to be a little bit odd. But yeah, it's just odd if I'm just talking to myself. I want to know that I'm making a difference in the world and helping other people. So please give me a comment if you are here live. I am using the Facebook app here to do this live, which I this is actually the first time I'm using it. So, um, testing one because I don't know, I can see a whole lot of new stuff, extra stuff, but I'm not 100% sure I'm even streaming on my Facebook page. So I'm just going to go and check that because otherwise I'm in the wrong place. That's probably step number one, Vivian, right? Check you're actually streaming in the right place, so that you know you're actually helping people. So I'm just going to go and check that. Bear with me a moment as I check that. Yes, I am live on my page, which is good. Okay, cool. So let's get into this. WhatsApp, Groupon, Instagram, Uber, Pinterest, Slack, they all grew from the recession, 2008 recession, and they all grew and became very successful now. And why? I sat there earlier thinking, yeah, great, people are posting about this, they grew, great. But why? Why? Why were they successful? Like, okay, they probably had some money to start, went out and found some money to start up with, but why specifically were they successful? And how can I learn from that? And how can I pass that on to you so you can learn from that? And what can you take and implement in your business and grow and make your business better? That's what I kind of want to talk about today. So here it is. The very first thing, they grew out of a recession because what happens in what's happening right now is we find the way of life, the way of doing things gets shifted, gets rattled. We're like, whoa, like Boris said to us, stay at home in this lockdown, right? People call it lockdown. There's fear around the word lockdown. So I just said, Boris said to us, stay at home unless you need to go out. And so the whole nation in the UK is staying at home. People in other countries are staying at home to help stop the spread of this virus. And so why these companies were successful are one major thing: innovation. See, when we're shaped, when we're rattled, when we're in a corner, when we're kind of thinking what's going on with the world, what's going on with our reality, that's when we can make a choice. We can make a choice of fear, or we can make a choice of love. And if you make that choice of love or standing in love, right, you can start to innovate. You can start to change. You can start to adapt. You can start to do things differently. You can start to help people in a way you've never done before. Because here's the thing, if you start a business in a boom, you're probably going to find it relatively easy to sell stuff, relatively easy to run your business, relatively easy to do stuff. And look, if you started your business in a boom, there's no problem with that. There's absolutely no issue. But here's the thing: if you start your business now or recently, not that long ago, you're going to be rattled a little bit right now. But it gives a massive opportunity for innovation in so many different areas of your business. The way you market, the products that you have, the people that you help, the way you manage your business and your finances, the way you invest in your business, the way you find clients, the way you do everything needs to change. And you need to be really diligent in the way that you do them things. And when you do that, you will be rewarded with finding more clients and serving more people and helping more people. What you don't need to do is all of a sudden jump on the bandwagon of going out there and just putting tons of free stuff out that you would have previously been paid for. You got to remember where you're at in business. So if you're at a stage where you're kind of, you got enough income coming in to support yourself, you got a bit more than that coming in, and you want to grow, you got to think about where you're at. So you can't just copy other businesses. You've got to think about where you're at, but you've got to innovate. Innovation is the key here. Innovation is the thing that's going to enable you to go that extra mile and go and grow your business further and deeper and better and survive this recession, but not just survive. When we start to come out of the other end, to thrive. Even whilst you're in it, if you do the right things, you can start to grow even quicker and start to thrive, right, in your business. And this is exactly what I want to talk about. So why? Innovation and opportunity. Every time something doesn't go to plan, every time something changes in the market or in your business, there is an opportunity to innovate. This is critical, right? There's an opportunity for you to innovate every time something changes in the market. And that's really important. If there's an opportunity for you to innovate, there's an opportunity for you to create something new, right? Do something different. So here's, I'm going to do a few ways in which you can do that. Here's the very first thing, right, is number one is what I call emotional self-isolation, right? We're in isolation right now, but emotional self-isolation is incredibly important. And here's why. Because right now, you might be in a place where you don't want to get this virus. You might have had it and you don't know you've had it. There's lots of information going around. I remember the day last week when back in the day, well, it was just last week. It was literally last week. But I remember last week when Boris announced the lockdown, and I watched it on the news, and I could feel fear. I could feel fear in the way he was announcing, in the people that were around me, generally area, in what's going to happen to my business and other people's businesses, and blah 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 blah, and all this fear came in. And here's the thing: is all Boris has said to us is, guys, could you please go home and stay at home the best that you can, or stay at home and don't go out if unless it's necessary. Now look, it's not literally, I just want to caveat this, it's not literally as simple as that. I want to be really clear, it's not literally as simple as that. There are a whole ton of people who would have lost their jobs, lost their income, and not sure where they're going to get that money from. And the benefits, the amount of money the benefits will give may not be enough to live on. And there is genuinely people who need help financially in their lives. Genuinely, there's a whole ton of them people. There's a whole ton of people who may have got the virus or have the virus, and they've got fear around the virus. They might be okay, and there's a whole ton of people who might have to go and get help and might not be okay. And then there's actually the majority of people that, if you look statistically, the majority of people are going to be okay physically and from a money point of view and a business point of view. There's a lot of people who are going to be, well, maybe not the majority, but there is a lot of people who are going to be okay. But out of the people who are going to be okay, there is a big, massive number of them who are choosing fear. And that's okay. I'm not trying to change that. I'm not saying you should be better. You shouldn't be choosing fear. Fear is not something that's easy to not choose, right? Fear is not something that's easy to not choose. But for those of you who own your own business and run your own business, if you want to take this time to really get into your business, make it something that's sustainable through this period, and then is ready to thrive beyond, what I'm about to tell you is exactly for you. Okay? So the first thing is emotional self-isolation. You need to isolate yourself from the messages of fear, because we can and we do wake up and choose fear. Fear is a choice. I want to distinguish that. Fear and pain are two different things. You might have the virus and be in pain, but you may not choose fear in that scenario. You might be in a situation where the amount of business you got coming in has gone down a little bit, but you don't have to choose fear in that scenario. You just take the next step and the next action. So number one is emotional self-isolation. And if you are in a situation where things are not going to plan, I really feel for you. But this will still help you. This emotional self-isolation will still help you to get to a place of peacefulness, because peacefulness will really help you and everybody around you to make better decisions. And then better decisions will inadvertently spread more love into the air and to people through your business or through your life, and it will get us over this a little bit quicker. I know that feels like woo-woo, and how does that work, Divian? I ain't got time to go through that on this right now, but it does work. And because when people feel good, their immune systems feel better and they're able to fight things better. And you won't have cases of people waking up with anxiety, feeling like, whoa, what's going on? When actually things are actually okay for them already anyway, if that makes sense. So look, emotional self-isolation is where you remove all of the things that are creating fear for you. Remove them. We're at home right now. Remove all of the things creating fear for you. If you watch news all the time, you've got things pinging up on your phone, you're on Facebook, you're on Insta, you're on Twitter, you're on LinkedIn, and all this stuff is pinging up like, could be extended by this period of time, could be this, could be that, could be. You are going to take that in, make it your own, and start to feel fear, even if you're not a fearful person. And I can tell you categorically, I did that the other day. When Boris announced the lockdown, I was like, I'm feeling a bit fearful. Then I was like, well, what can I do? Forget about what I can't do. What can I do? I'm safe in my home. What can I do? And one way you might do this is go onto social media and all the news outlets, pick one. Now, look, you got to stay up to date with what's going on. Totally get that. You don't have to, but you could be staying up to date with what's going on. So pick one way of getting the news that doesn't put a load of fear into it, just gives you the key bits of information. And then shut the other ones off. You don't need to read the same news 15 times in one day from 15 different sources. You just need it once from one reliable source that gives you just the information without fear. That might be BBC, that might be ITV, Channel 4, whatever works for you, right? It doesn't matter where, but just choose a place that doesn't put a load of fear into it and switch these ones off, right? Don't switch TV on. I'll just watch this little bit. Just switch the other stuff off. Create emotional self-isolation so you can protect how you're feeling. If you're feeling fearful, you want to protect that feeling. You want to protect it because that will help you to make sound decisions moving forward. And it will help you to be in a place of love and not fear and start to take real actions that are going to help you, your family, the people around you, your clients, your business, your partner, your kids, whatever, whoever the people are, it's going to help them. And by helping them, you're going to help other people. It's going to kind of, it does this, it kind of ripples outwards, right? So number one is remove the fear. Go into emotional self-isolation. Don't listen to the fear. Listen to the good stories, right? If you want to read stories, go and read inspiring stories of how people have overcome things in their lives. Go watch films like Coach Carter. Like, there's a whole list I've got on my phone. Coach Carter is always the first one that comes up because I love it. But there's one called The Miracle Season, right? It's inspiring. There's Coach Carter. There is, I've got a list here. Anyway, I'll find the list. Okay, but there's so many inspiring stories that can lift you, that can get you to see the goodness in people and in life and in the world. And you want to be lifted because that lifted feeling will help you to lift other people. That will help inspire people, right? Number 2 on this list. This is the time to realign, reassess, and start to understand where you want to take your business. So maybe if your product's not quite right, change it. Go think about it. Spend that time changing it. It could be that the ideal client is not quite right for you. You need to go and change that. Maybe it's the price you're charging, you want to change that. I would kind of say don't go out there and start double increasing your prices and stuff by massive amount. This is not the time to increase prices. But it could be a slight shift in price, a small shift. You might add a ton of value and increase the price slightly. That's okay. But don't go, I'm a coach. I can help people how they're feeling, so I'm going to exploit them. I charge X amount per hour, and now I'm going to charge 3 times that because I can, because people are feeling fearful. That's a douchebag thing to do, by the way. Don't do it. It's just douchebaggy. I'm sure you weren't going to do it anyway. But I just wanted to make that clear. And the number one thing here is you can answer this one question. What's the one big problem that I solve for my ideal client and my marketplace? What's the one big problem that I solve? Now, if you started your business last year or the year before or a few years ago or 10 years ago, the one big problem you solved back then might have changed. And this is where the innovation comes in. This is where the innovation opportunity comes in, because not only are we going to change, first we're going to look at what problem are we solving. Has that changed? Who do we serve and how do we and what we do to serve them? Has that changed? Right? Has it changed who we serve? What has the big problem we solve changed? Slightly changed. Maybe it's pivoted. Maybe it's not changed totally. Maybe it's just pivoted. If it has, then go through it and kind of reassess where you're at and where you're going. And you know, I talk about emotional self-isolation. You want to lift people and stay away from the fear. Focus on providing solutions. Like in this video, I want to share with you solutions that I know work for me right now. Focus on these solutions. And the question you want to ask is, how can I best help my audience? If you have an audience right now, you have a duty, a responsibility to go out there and share the love with them. Take them away from fear and into love, into solution orientated, into not problem but solution oriented. Be empathetic to their situation, of course, but find solutions. If they're struggling with something, find solutions that they're struggling with for what the things that they're struggling with, and focus on them solutions. But here's a time to reassess and realign, right? What are your new priorities? How are you going to continue to grow your business? How are you going to, once you get out the other end of this, how are you going to grow? What are you going to do? Who are you going to serve? Where do you want to get to? It's time for this reassess and realign stage. Once you know them things, then you can ask the question, how? How am I going to do it? Now, this is probably more important than ever before, the how, because the problem you might look at the problem that you solve and you go, you know what, it's exactly the same as it ever has been. I'm happy with it. I don't want to change it. I don't want to change the type of person that I serve. I don't want to change my packages, etc. But you might look at the how now and be like, I've got to change the how. No longer am I going to be able to rely on going to networking events. I've got to change how. I've got to change how I serve this set of people. I can't go out speaking on stages. So how do I serve them? I'm going to start doing webinars. I can't go out networking offline. So I'm going to start networking online. That's how I'm going to start serving my clients. I can't do retreats, in-person retreats. So how am I going to serve my clients? I could do a one-day retreat online only. I could teach myself online only. I can't do in-person workshops. I can do it online. We're about to, one of my clients, I'm about to test out doing a online networking event. I mean, he runs a networking event with 100 people who come each month in person at least. And what we're going to try and do this month is just kind of thinking through how we're going to make this work. But we are going to try and recreate what we do in person with 100 people online. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really fun. I don't know if it's going to work, if I'm being perfectly honest, but we're going to try it. I think it will work to some extent, and we'll refine it and re-refine it and re-refine it. And the question is how? How are you going to solve the problem that you're helping your market solve now that you have some restrictions? And this is where the innovation comes in. We've got to go. We've got these restrictions. Cool. So we can't just stop. You can't just stop and be like, that's it, I give up. How are you now going to solve it? You might have been online already, right? Here's the thing. Here's the thing to this. You might be somebody who's already been running their business online, right? You might already be running your business online. You might be online only, but your business might have struggled as a result of this situation, right? It might be struggling a little bit as a result of this situation. And so the question now is, how do you, maybe it's not struggling, but you've got concerns that in the future, you're not going to get in the immediate future, you're not going to get as much business as you have in the past. So now you've got to go, well, how do I solve that problem? You might go back to your client avatar and think, you know what I do is great, but who I serve needs to change. Because the people who are going to be able to afford to pay me are not the same people who are able to afford to pay me 2 weeks ago. And that might then lead to a fundamental shift in your whole business model going forward into the future. And that might be a good thing. That might be the best decision you ever made. So here's the thing: when we're under pressure, when a piece of coal is under pressure, it turns into a diamond, right? We can break it into I think it's a piece of coal. There's something that when you put it under pressure, it turns into something amazing. I think it's a piece of coal into diamond. I can't remember. But that's the thing, is we've got to innovate. We've got to innovate at this point in time. So how are you going to implement that for your particular marketplace? Here's the thing. Some of the great people out there, Thomas Edison, or maybe it was Joseph Swan, don't know, whichever one it was, who invented the light bulb. They didn't go, it doesn't work. give up, didn't work. They found all the restrictions, right, along these, whichever one invented it, I don't know which one invented it. There's a big argument about it. Um, they found 1,000 restrictions on how they could not do this thing, and then hit the nail on the head on how they could do it. So if you're bumping up against problems right now, you're finding ways of how not to do it, and that's good because you're getting closer to how to do it. And stopping is not the answer. Stopping's not the answer. Stopping just says, you know what, I can't bother. Can't bother to be a leader. Leaders are born right now. You are a leader. I can tell you, it doesn't matter whether you're a leader of one person or a million people. You are a leader somewhere in your life. You're an example to somebody else somewhere in your life, in your business, in the things that you do. If you're in business, you're an expert, coach, speaker, someone like that. You are in the business of leading people, right? And so you're responsible to lead. We've been given this opportunity to lead. So now it's not time to stop. It's time to innovate. Innovate, 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 innovate. Move away from fear and then innovate. Spend all your time innovating. Consume information, consume ideas. Go out there and read. Go through them courses that you may have not consumed yet. Go through them and innovate. The economy only cripples when people stop moving forwards. That's when it slows down. And it has slowed down a bit, but it doesn't mean you have to slow down. You can be the fuel that drives it forward. You can be the fuel that gives people hope. Now, look, I want to share something with you right now. I have just created a free group called Rise and Inspire for online coaches, expert speakers, consultants, and freelancers. The link is in the comments below to go and join that group. Go and join it. You can also go to divianmystery.com/FB group. Come and join that group. I'm not gonna. I was gonna do a live every single day, and I started doing it, and I just ran out of energy. If I'm being perfectly honest, because I'm still running my business, still got clients and things that are going on, and it's things that I'm dealing with and adapting to, and so I'm not gonna go live every single day in that group, but I want to create an environment where you can rise in several ways. Right? Rise to me is lifting people up, is going up and inspiring, but also rise. When you rise in the morning, I want you to feel inspired and to change and adapt the way you're doing things. I want you to feel love, not fear, so that moving forward, you can inspire more people and we can have this massive ripple effect that helps people to get better from this illness, to roll forward. By the way, if you're watching this on my blog, like way after this pandemic's over, right? The COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic of 2020. Maybe you're watching this in 2025 because it'll still be on YouTube then, assuming YouTube's still called YouTube or whatever it's called then. It'll still be around. And if you're watching this then, this still applies to you, right? Just because you're not in crisis mode, it still applies, right? So we need to rise and inspire people. And I want to do that in this group because you will find opportunities that you never saw previously if you feel inspired, if you rise and feel inspired. And that's what I want you to do. So look, go. You can do it completely free. I haven't got anything to sell. Just join. You just join the group for free. Click the link, apply, not apply, but say join. And I'm going to go in there. When I get ideas, I'm going to go in there. I might go live. It might be videos. It might be resources. It might be tools. It might, whatever it is. I don't know what it's going to be. It's just when I get ideas, I'm going to go in there. When I read something that inspires me, I'm going to post it in there. I'm going to share a lot of good stuff in there. So I would love for you to join and to get loads of people to join because this is here to lift other people. I want to lift people through this period of time, and I want to help them keep their businesses running and be ready to expand when the time is right for them. Even now, it might be the right time for you to expand right now without exploiting people, without being a douchebag, without selling Dettol for 3 to 5 times the normal price. It's ridiculous, right? You don't need to charge that much. You just need to be giving because that's the time that we're in. Be giving with stuff, but don't not make money. You don't need to go. I was speaking to my sister who's a personal trainer. You don't need to go completely free. You don't need to go, right, I'm going to And she's not done this, but there's how many personal trainers out there right now who are giving everything away for free, right? Don't get me wrong, that can help, but that's not the way to keep your business alive. If you go from a paid model to completely free, what are you going to charge for? Where's your business going to go? There's still ways of helping people and giving stuff away for free without killing your business, right? You don't want to kill your business. So look, this group is about innovation, it's about inspiration, it's about growing your business, it's about getting the right things in place. Whatever you need, I'm going to start putting that into that group, and start to help you in that group. Whether it's sorting out your money, right? Maybe you need to get your money sorted, the way you manage your money. Maybe you do need to go out, get a business loan to help you through this period of time. Maybe you need to get your marketing sorted out. Maybe you need to get your onboarding process sorted out. Maybe you need to get whatever it is you need to get sorted out. I'm going to try and help you in this group to do that. And I want other people to contribute to this group as well. So look, go and join the group. If you know somebody who you think this would be massively valuable for, then go and share the group with them. It's time for us to rise and inspire and innovate and learn and develop and become better so we can come out this and thrive. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is still Divya Mystery. And if you want to join that group, go to divyamystery.com/FB group, or in the link, if you're watching the live stream or the recording on Facebook, the link might be below. If not, go to the link that I just mentioned and come in and join the group and share in the love and the wisdom and the joy that I will be sharing in there. Thank you so much for joining me. Please start to rise and inspire, move away from fear, start to step forward in your business. And let's get out of the other side of this and really start to show the world that we don't need to be knocked down by a virus. We can still thrive. We can still grow. We still get the clients. We can still do all the things that we want to do, just in the slightly adapted way of doing it. Go join the group. I'll see you soon.